but he has 3 years left on his contract and about $50 million worth. I mean, if he could somehow turn that into $100 million and some guaranteed money and maybe become the highest paid defensive player next year, don't you think he would sign a deal for 3 or 4 years? And I think that's probably what he was trying to do.
I think that's completely what he was trying to do. I do think retirement's in the back of his mind, but he wants to get paid like he deserves. All due respect to T.J. Watt. He won the Defensive Player of the Year. Hard to argue about that. He's not the best defensive player in football. Until Aaron Donald retires or dramatically falls off, he gets to hold that title regardless of who holds the technical hardware.
All right, let's go out to Mike in Perryopolis. How you doing, Mike?
Hey, I'm doing good, guys. Enjoy the show.
Thanks.
This question is directed to Chris. I'll give you my question and hang up and listen to your response. Chris, your answers are usually well thought out and well presented, but I think you're dropping a ball or missing some key element here in Pitt's season. What do you think the record would be if they had Horton the whole year? Because they lost a considerable amount of games by 1, 2, and 3 points when he played very little or had just started or hadn't played at all. I'll hang up and see what your thoughts are.
I mean, he might have been worth a win, a couple wins, maybe 2, if you think he was going to make the difference. It's always hard for me to play that little game.
Yeah,
I understand why people might do it, but they had some really disappointing results early in the season that might have turned around. Still, though, so say, just to humor Mike's point here, they're 11-16 after this win tonight, Richie. Say you give them 2 to 3 more wins. If they're not conference wins, because they've had their doors blown off by Virginia Tech and by Wake Forest. The other Tech loss was close, right? But say you just swung a couple wins in their favor. Then you get them to 13-14. I mean, is that the overarching point here, I guess, to Mike's sort of statement to me is, for me at least, is what has Jeff Capel built? Even if Horton is in the lineup all year, what has Jeff Capel actually been successfully able to build here? So far, it's been a lot of spinning the wheels, 2 steps forward, 2 1/4 steps back kind of thing.
All right, since I have Bucko fever, let's go out to Raphael in Fox Chapel. How you doing, Raphael?
Hey, guys, thanks for having me on this show. I was watching and really agree with you guys about, the stadium, how the citizens of Pittsburgh and southwestern PA pay for the stadium. Now that we have a new mayor, Ed Gainey, I would say, have a sit-down with maybe Bob Nutty and say, hey, we want the development of the North Shore, the North Side, to get better, like Lawrenceville, like the Strip District, other parts of the city. You are a big part of that. If you keep putting substandard product on the field, the development is going to lag behind what it could be. Like you guys went to Chicago and San Francisco. You see all that around those stadiums, and it's bustling. We could have the same thing here if we have a better product.
Raphael, you make a great point. I've always thought that those businesses thrive on games, right? And there are only 8 to 10 Steeler games, and that's it. But after the first week of baseball season, no one comes anymore. That's why those businesses have left. There's no more Atrias. There's no more Outback there. I don't even know what's over there now.
Well, there's places like Mike's Beer Bar and other great spots that people can still go, and there's always going to be a built-in audience. But here's my point. It's funny, Raphael got something in my head there when he mentioned Chicago. I'm presuming obviously he means Wrigley Field. It should be sort of a clear picture, because we always frame things through the Bob Nutting lens or look at them through the Bob Nutting lens in this town. The Ricketts family that owns the Cubs. Think about the kind of resources, WGN, Superstation, all that stuff, right? Everything that's in that town and everything they have available to them, and they cry poor. That should tell you that one side is just dealing in complete and utter bad faith here. It is a manipulative sort of situation. It's always crying for asking for public money, not just in Pittsburgh, in a lot of places. Give us money to improve our stadiums and give nothing back in return.
I like Raphael's point, but Chris, I mean, not to defend Bob Nutting and the ownership here, but it's not his responsibility to build up the North Side and the North Shore. He just is only caring about dollars and what he can make.
Well, I guess my great frustration is I think what Raphael's saying, though, in the overwhelming majority of stadium situations around this country, it is usually the public that is funding either the majority or all of the stadium building cost. And then what benefit really do they reap, especially if the team that's being placed on the field isn't competitive and isn't spending up to par to be competitive? I think people should be frustrated by that.
Yeah, I know. A lot of people are frustrated. We got to take a break. Back with more of your phone calls coming up next. Stay right there.